Addison, it took this child to die with dignity. He never complained. He never blamed anyone. Let's face it, he got this disease through a blood transfusion. He was a hemophiliac. He never complained. He never blamed anyone. He didn't hate anybody. And it took this child to kind of galvanize people in this country to actually start to do something about AIDS for everyone. Once a child got it, then it was like, oh, well, then it must be important. And I don't say that derogatorily. I just say that the gay people who had been before were completely forgotten about. And it took Brian White to come through with his beautiful Christian attitude of forgiveness and courage and dignity to actually further this cause. And if it hadn't have been for him, God knows where we would have been right now.
Elton John is more than just a musical icon. He's a storyteller, a showman, and a deeply sentimental man who has spent his life forming powerful bonds both on and off stage. Whether it's through his timeless hits or his philanthropy, he's been a beacon of warmth and friendship in the music industry for decades. But recently, he shared a deeply personal and tearful farewell to one of his closest friends, Tony Bennett. The legendary crooner, known for his smooth vocals and enduring presence in music, passed away at age 96, leaving a legacy behind that spanned generations. Elton John's tribute to Tony Bennett.
Right now, the music and entertainment world is mourning the death of iconic singer and entertainer Tony Bennett. The 20-time Grammy Award-winning singer and humanitarian died in his hometown of New York City at the age of 96.
Tony Bennett wasn't just a singer, he was a fixture of American music, a performer who defied the passage of time and continued to charm audiences well into his 90s. His career, which spanned over 7 decades, saw him collaborate with some of the greatest artists in the world, including Lady Gaga, Frank Sinatra, and of course, Elton John. With a voice that never seemed to age, Bennett was known for his ability to bridge the gap between generations, introducing timeless standards to younger audiences while staying true to the classic jazz and big band traditions that made him famous. His music was a touchstone of elegance, and his longevity in the industry a testament to both his skill and his unwavering love for the craft. When news broke of Bennett's passing, Elton was one of the first to express his grief publicly. He shared a heartfelt message on social media, accompanied by a picture of the two together, calling Tony the classiest singer, man, and performer you'll ever see. In his tribute, he emphasized not only Bennett's irreplaceable talent, but also his generosity and kindness. Elton's words carried the weight of true admiration. This was not just a polite farewell, but the mourning of a dear friend, someone he deeply respected and had shared unforgettable moments with. Elton and Tony had long shared mutual admiration, with Elton often referring to Bennett as one of the last great crooners, someone whose dedication to his craft was unparalleled. Despite the 20-year age difference between them, they found common ground in their passion for music and their commitment to entertaining audiences worldwide. Their collaborations, while not as numerous as Bennett's famed duets with other artists, were still filled with warmth and camaraderie. Elton was always in awe of how effortlessly Bennett performed, maintaining his vocal strength and stage presence well into his later years. Even after Bennett was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease, he continued to sing, proving his love for music was as intrinsic to him as breathing. For Elton, losing Tony was a painful reminder of time's inevitable march forward. Many of his longtime peers and idols have passed, and while Elton continues to perform and engage with his fans, moments like this force him to reflect on his own mortality and the people who have shaped his journey. The industry he once knew, where icons like Bennett, Sinatra, and other jazz greats ruled the stage, has changed drastically. But Bennett's influence will endure, just as Elton's will, carried forward in the music and the artists they inspired. A year of loss for Elton.
A blue one from us all. Hello.
Tony Bennett's passing was not the only difficult goodbye Elton faced recently. Earlier in the year, he also mourned the loss of his beloved dog, Marilyn, just shy of her 18th birthday. While some may see this as a small personal tragedy compared to the loss of a legendary musician, for Elton, Marilyn was family. His husband, David Furnish, shared an emotional tribute, describing how Marilyn had been a constant companion, offering love and loyalty throughout the years. Pets, for many, are not just animals, but steadfast sources of comfort, particularly for those who spend much of their lives on the road. For someone like Elton, whose life has been defined by movement, touring, performing, and constantly being in the public eye, Marilyn represented stability, a quiet source of love that expected nothing from him except affection in return. Elton has always been known for deep emotional connections, whether with people or pets. His ability to form lasting bonds is part of what makes him such a powerful figure in the entertainment industry. He's not one to merely work with someone and move on. His friendships run deep, and his farewells are always filled with genuine love. It's no surprise then that Marilyn's passing hit him hard. The connection between an artist and their personal life is often overlooked by the public, but for someone as expressive as Elton, each relationship, human or otherwise, leaves a deep imprint. Beyond his immediate circle, Elton has also been dealing with the conclusion of his farewell tour, Farewell Yellow Brick Road. The tour, which spanned several years due to pandemic-related delays, was an emotional journey for Elton and his fans. While it was a celebration of his career and a chance to thank his fans, it also signified the end of an era for him. He has spent more than 5 decades performing, bringing his music to millions across the world. And now, as he steps away from the stage, he faces another kind of farewell, one to a career that has been the defining force in his life. Whether to a beloved friend or pet or even a career milestone is never easy, and for Elton, each loss leaves a profound impact. Ryan White and the moment that changed Elton's life. Among the many losses in Elton John's life, few have had as profound an effect as the death of Ryan White. Ryan was a teenager from Indiana who became a national figure in the fight against the stigma of AIDS after contracting HIV through a contaminated blood transfusion. Diagnosed at a time when misinformation about the disease ran rampant, Ryan faced immense discrimination and was even expelled from his school. Yet, despite the cruelty he endured, he remained hopeful and compassionate, a quality that left an undeniable impression on Elton. Elton met Ryan and his family during this time, and their friendship quickly deepened. He was moved by the strength and grace with which Ryan carried himself, even as his health deteriorated. Ryan was just a child, yet he handled the harsh realities of his illness with a level of wisdom and poise that many adults would struggle to maintain. He refused to let his diagnosis define him, and in doing so, he became an advocate not just for himself, but for thousands of others battling HIV and AIDS. Ryan's passing in April 1990 devastated Elton, but it also became the catalyst for a major turning point in his life. At the time, Elton was battling severe drug and alcohol addiction. He has since admitted that he was lost in self-destruction, unable to cope with reality without substances. But attending Ryan's funeral was a wake-up call. He saw himself in a moment of absolute clarity, bloated, pale, and consumed by addiction. Seeing the pain Ryan's family endured, and realizing how much love and kindness Ryan had shown despite his struggles, Elton knew he had to change. In the months that followed, Elton got sober and began dedicating himself to AIDS activism. He established the Elton John AIDS Foundation in 1992, which has since raised over £300 million to support HIV-related programs. He credits Ryan and his family with saving his life, and to this day, he remains close with Ryan's mother, Jean White Ginder. Their friendship has been a lifelong bond, one that continues to shape his mission in the fight against HIV and AIDS. The power of legacy and friendship. Elton's friendships have always played a significant role in shaping his life. From the industry legends he admired, like Tony Bennett, to the personal connections that changed him forever, like Ryan White, each bond has left a lasting impression. These were not just passing acquaintances, but deeply meaningful relationships that shaped his worldview and influenced his actions. His friendship with Tony was one of mutual respect, a shared understanding of what it means to devote one's life to music. With Ryan, it was something even deeper, a transformative relationship that reshaped his perspective and led him to become one of the most prominent advocates in the fight against AIDS. Now it's time to hear from you. What are your thoughts on Elton John's heartfelt tribute to Tony Bennett? Let us know in the comments section below.